President Donald J. Trump. If you want to seal the border, vote Trump. If you want to restore law and order in this country, vote Trump. If you want to grow the economy in this country, vote Trump. If you want to revive national pride in this country, vote Trump. If you want to stay out of World War III in this country, vote Trump. If you want to make America great again, vote Trump. I'm going to give you one more reason to vote Trump, and it's this. It's the one the media in the back, they won't talk about this. But they know it to be true. Donald Trump is actually the president who will unite this country, actually. And we don't talk about that enough. America First includes all Americans, regardless of their race, their gender, or their sexual orientation. Our message to Black Americans tonight is this. We want you, what we want for every American. Safe neighborhoods, good jobs, clean streets. A country where you are judged based on the content of your character, not the color of your skin or your political beliefs. That's the America we know. Our message to gay Americans tonight is this. You're free to marry who you want, if you want, without the government standing in your way. But that doesn't mean that boys get to compete with girls in girls' sports. Our message to every legal immigrant in this country is this. You're like my parents. But our message to every illegal immigrant, if you came legally, you get the same American dream that everybody else does. Work hard, get ahead, make contributions to this country, love the nation, and that's our message to legal immigrants. But our message to every illegal immigrant is also this. We will return you to your country of origin.
Yes!
Not because you're all bad people, but because you broke the law. And the United States of America is founded on the rule of law. Our message to my generation, the millennials, is this. You were sold a false bill of goods. You were told you become a gender studies major in California. Somehow that gets you a head start on the American dream when it hasn't worked out that way. Dead on your shoulders. The Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Yes, it's true you were lied to. But we can't just be cynical about our country because this is still the last best hope that we have in the free world. And our message to Gen Z is this. You're going to be the generation that saves the country. You want to be a rebel, 18 years old, stand up on your college campus and call yourself a conservative. Be proud of it. Say you want to get married, have kids, raise a family, and have a good job. That's how we win in America. We don't have to be this nation in decline. We are still on our way up. We're still that country where we will look our children in the eye and mean it when we tell them, you get ahead in the United States with your own hard work, your own commitment, your own dedication, and that you know what, you are free to speak your mind at every step of the way. That is the American dream. That is what we are running to. And that is what we get when we send Donald Trump back to the White House this November. Thank you. God bless you. And the great state of New York. And the United States of America. Thank you. God bless. Thank you, guys.
USA! 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 USA!いやー、こんな形の配信になって申し訳ないですね。本当にね、5時からのはずがこの 1時に来てももう入れなかったです。まだかい、まだかい。
Is there a way of getting an ask? Come back out? Join me as I say these words. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. As we gather here today on this historic occasion, we stand together as proud Americans in understanding that these very rights are under attack. So we face this historic crossroads where our freedom and our future is in our hands. There's never been a more clear choice in any election in my life, and our ability to live in a truly peaceful and free and prosperous country is on the line. I love you too. And it is that love that brings us together here today, that love for freedom, that love for our country and love for each other as fellow Americans, as children of God, that compels us to take action to save our country and defend our freedom. Now, this choice that we have before us is very personal to me. I'm a Lieutenant Colonel in the Army Reserve. I've served now for over 21 years. I've deployed to different war zones 3 times over that period, and I've seen the cost of war. For my brothers and sisters who paid the ultimate price, I carry their memories and their sacrifice in my heart every day. So this choice that we have before us as Americans is critical. It's important to us. It's important to those of us who serve, who have volunteered to put our lives on the line for the safety, security, and freedom of our country and our people, and it's critical to all of us. Here's the choice that we have. A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for Dick Cheney, and it's a vote for war, more war, likely World War III and nuclear war. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote for a man who wants to end wars, not start them.
カマラ・ハリスに入れたら核戦争であって
already that he has the courage and strength to stand up and fight for peace.
核戦争ですって
A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for open borders, where known violent criminals and Islamist terrorists are streaming across our borders, placing us at risk. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote for secure borders and safe communities, and a confidence that he will seek out those who seek to do us harm and get them out. A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for economic hardship, high cost of living, poverty, and homelessness, and a vote for Donald Trump is a vote for economic prosperity and opportunity for every single one of us as Americans. A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for censorship and a complete erosion of our fundamental and constitutional rights and freedoms. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote for someone who will defend freedom and every one of our God-given rights that are enshrined in the Constitution and Bill of Rights. So the choice is ours. History will look back on us at this moment for the choice that we make. Did we choose war or peace? Did we choose poverty or prosperity? Did we choose censorship or freedom?
Freedom.
Our freedom and our future is in our hands. We have just a few days left to complete this no-fail mission that we have before us to save our country. Nothing short of our future is on the line. So now, just as we've gathered here today in this historic place and this historic time, we will gather together all across this country, people of every race, ethnicity, religion, and creed, to stand together and defend our freedom and ensure our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now is the time for us to send Donald Trump back to the White House to be the 47th President of the United States, where we can stand together and make America great again. Thank you so much. Let's get it done. Aloha.
昨日ね、トランプさんはね、床屋さんに行ってたんですよ。で、床屋さんの人たちにね、インタビューしたり、ユダヤ系の人もね、結構来てるんですね。なんかこの静けさは来るのでは？そろそろ来るのでは？
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage former presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
RFK Jr. さんです。はいはいはいはい。はいはいはいはい。はいはい、ジュニアさん。おらいな。
That's what you said, Robert.
Thank you, New York. Thank you.
いやー、これはサプライズゲストですね。
Thank you.
So he's John F. Kennedy's grandson.
A lot of people
ちょっと泣いてるみたいに見えま
ask
すね。
me
That's,
why I left the
that's our
Democratic
whole
Party.
generation.
あ、
Generation after generation after generation.
手が
And
震
I
える。
say, I don't leave the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party left me. This is not the party anymore of Martin Luther King, of Robert Kennedy, of John Kennedy. That was the party of peace. It was the party of constitutional rights, of civil rights, of freedom of speech. It was the party that wanted to protect and nurture the middle class. It was the party that stood up to censorship, to surveillance, that stood up to the CIA, to the military-industrial complex. And it was the party that wanted to protect public health and women's sports. My uncle, Ted Kennedy, wrote Title IX, which protected women's sports in college. It was the party that believed in voting rights and fought for the right of every American to vote for the person of their choice. Today's Democratic Party is the party of war, is the party of the CIA. You have Kamala Harris giving a speech at the Democratic Convention that was written by neocons, that was belligerent, pugnacious, that talked about the domination of the world by the United States through our weapons of war. It's the party today that wants to divide Americans. It's the party that is dismantling women's sports by letting men play women's sports.
It's the party of Wall Street. It's the party of Bill Gates, who just gave $50 million to Kamala Harris. It's the party, and the Harris campaign is very proud that it received the endorsement of 50 former CIA agents and officers, and of John Bolton, and of Dick Cheney. These are the people that gave us the war in Iraq, the worst foreign policy catastrophe that's ever happened to this country. These are the people that gave us the Patriot Act and launched the surveillance state. These are the people that are trying to undermine voting rights in this country by weaponizing the federal agencies against political candidates, including me and Donald Trump and all other political candidates. They can't win an election. And instead of bringing in a candidate who wins the primaries, abolish the primaries, and then pick two candidates, anointed them without receiving votes. We don't even know how Kamala Harris received the nomination. And this is the party of Wall Street, of big banks, of big data, of big tech, of the military contractors, and the parties of big pharma, big ag, big food, and big chemicals. It is the party that's given us the sickest children in the history of the world. When my uncle was president, 6% of Americans had chronic disease, and we spent zero on chronic disease in this country. Today, 60% of Americans have chronic disease. This is existential for our country. We're spending $4.3 trillion a year, 5 times our military budget. 77% of American boys cannot qualify for military service because of chronic disease diagnosis. This is existential for our country. President Trump called me 3 hours after a shooting. And he said, when I come and sit down with him, and he said to me during that meeting, he said, there are some things that we can agree on and some we disagree on, but the landscapes on which we agree are so much larger. He said, I want to end the wars. I want to end this surveillance and censorship. I want to protect the Constitution. I want to protect freedom of speech. I want to end the surveillance. I want to end the weaponization of government against American politicians. And I want to end the chronic disease epidemic. Now, don't you think that we deserve a president in this country who's going to restore the moral authority of the United States of America? Don't you think that we deserve a president who's going to end the warfare state and rebuild the middle class? Don't you want a president who's going to put America first? Don't you want a president who's going to protect our children? And who's going to protect women's sports? And who's going to stop dividing this country along racial lines? And don't you want a president who's going to end the corruption at the federal agencies, at FDA, at NIH, at CDC, and at the CIA? And don't you want a president who's going to make America healthy again? And don't you want a president who's going to make America great again?
Yes.
And we need to go to the polls on November 5th and vote for Donald Trump. God bless you and God bless America.
RFK ジュニアさんでした。いやでも彼は選挙戦降りてよかったですね。ちょっと声がね出てませんよね。いやトランプさんが優勢だって伝えられれば伝えられるほど不安になるんですよ。いよいよですね、この静けさは。
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Tucker Carlson.
タッカーですよ、タッカー来ました。タッカーでございます。タッカー・カールソンでございます。あらあらあらあら。
Thank you!
洋食に
I
ついて
saw
ほ
the
しい
Grateful
ね。
Dead in this arena in 1987. I was seated right there. How weird.
Wow.
It's such an honor to be here, and it's wild. Just another day following Bobby Kennedy Jr. at a Donald Trump rally in Madison Square Garden. That's totally normal. Liz Cheney's out there with Kamala Harris. And there's Bobby Kennedy calling to protect women's sports at a Trump rally. It's a realignment. It's unbelievable. And the fact that it's here is even sweeter.
Come on, friend.
Imagine if you're, and just pause for one moment. Imagine you're Donald Trump. You're from New York City, you become famous in New York City, you make your fortune in New York City, and all of a sudden the leadership of New York City decides they're going to destroy you because they don't like your politics. And so yeah, boo, imagine if that were you. And they try and take everything that you have, they try and put you in prison, they try and put your children in prison. If that happened to you, how often do you think you'd be going back to New York City?
Never.
How about never?
Yes, sir. Never.
And then he's here. It's like getting thrown out of a bar. And you think to yourself, well, you know, all my friends are in the bar. And you approach the door and there's the bouncer like, you're not allowed in here. But from behind the bouncer, you hear the cheers of your friend, come on in!
Yes.
And the bouncer hangs his head in shame. He's embarrassed that he's working for the man trying to keep the most popular person out of the bar. And that's Donald Trump back in the city that produced him with no embarrassment at all. The stones that takes, the bravery that takes is incredible. Donald Trump's gonna win. He's gonna win. I know that that's true. Why is Donald Trump gonna win? The people he's about to defeat have no idea. And they're panicked. They have no idea why people like Donald Trump. And their first theory was, well, Donald Trump is evil, so half the country's evil also. And that's one of the reasons they spent the last 4 years trying to destroy the country, because they're mad at its voters for liking Donald Trump. How much easier would it have been just to pause for 20 minutes and ask yourself honestly in some silent place, why do people like Donald Trump? And if they had been honest enough to ask themselves that question, they would have come up with the two main reasons, and here's what they are. The first reason that people like Donald Trump is because he likes them. That's why. And it's real. Affection is something you can't fake. I don't care how many times Kamala Harris would tell me she loves me, I don't believe her. I saw her kiss her husband with a mask on. A mask on. That's her version of love. It's fake, it's not real. They spent 10 years telling you Trump is a hater. Do you feel that on him? No, you don't. Because it's not there. I've spent a lot of time with Trump.
And there's not one moment I've ever been with him off camera where he's spending his time grousing about people he hates. Ever. He's talking about the people and the country he loves in his private time. Trust me. And people know in a country that's been taken over by a leadership class that actually despises them and their values and their history and their culture and their customs, really hates them to the point that it's trying to replace them, they know someone who actually has affection for them, and that's Donald Trump. And it's requited. It's requited. They know. When he goes to McDonald's and serves fries, like, he's not faking that at all. That's why that worked. Democratic media controls like, how is that working? Because it's real, that's why. And the second reason that people love Trump, and I put myself in this category, it's why I'm here today, is because he's liberated us in the deepest and truest sense. And the liberation he has brought to us is the liberation from the obligation to tell lies. Donald Trump has made it possible for the rest of us to tell the truth about the world around us. And that's the single most liberating thing you can do for people. If you want to enslave people, if you want to degrade them, force them to tell lies. And they have. They forced us to lie about everything at gunpoint, effectively. They put people in prison for refusing to lie. And not just the obvious lies that men can become women or Vladimir Putin blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. No, honestly, he did. January 6th was insurrection. They were unarmed, but it was very insurrection-y. Not even the obvious ones, but the big lie. You know what the big lie is? The big lie is that they're impressive. That's what the big lie is. That the people in charge have somehow earned the right to rule over you, and they haven't. And you know that. These are the single most useless people in the United States. They have no skills whatsoever. They've got 3/4 of the money, and they didn't earn it. They set up the system precisely for the purpose of awarding themselves wealth and power when it's undeserved. You look at Liz Cheney and you ask yourself honestly, what skill could she possibly have that allowed her to send hundreds of thousands of people to their deaths? Did she earn that? I don't think she did. No fair system would make Liz Cheney powerful. No fair system would make Larry Fink rich. No fair system would elevate someone like Kamala Harris to a presidential nomination. She's never been accused of doing anything useful. She has precisely no achievement. She's a nominee without getting a single vote. She is a metaphor for the system they created to make themselves rich and powerful, and then they have the gall to lecture you, the people who can actually change a flat tire and repair a power grid, who have useful jobs, who pay your taxes and work 40 hours a week, lecture you that you are somehow immoral. And Donald Trump has empowered the rest of us through mostly just sticking around in the face of their hate and abuse and persecution. He has given the rest of us the right to call BS on the charade. No, you are not better than us. No, you are not smarter than us. No, you do not deserve what you have. You probably stole it. No, you're not going to bully me into silence anymore. And I can promise you at this point, 9 days out, when Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Elon Musk and Tulsi Gabbard and pretty much every high school senior and college shorty girl in the country has come out finally saying, yeah, I am for Donald Trump, actually. When the entire country has realized there is nothing embarrassing about this. What's embarrassing is to take a perfectly great country and destroy it, as they have. I'm not ashamed, you should be. At that moment, it's going to be pretty tough for them, 10 days from now, to look in the eye to America with a straight face. It's going to be pretty hard to look at us and say, you know what? Kamala Harris, she got 85 million votes because she's just so impressive. As the first Samoan, Malaysian, low IQ, former California prosecutor ever elected president, it was just a groundswell of popular support. And anyone who thinks otherwise is just a freak or a criminal. At this stage of the game, after 9 years of listening to their lies and finding every single one of them totally false, no, it's not safe and effective, and no, she's not impressive. It's very hard for me to believe the rest of us are going to say, you know what, Joe Scarborough, you're right. You're right. she won fair and square because she's just so impressive. I don't think so. And to me, that is liberation. It's the freedom to say what's obviously true as a free man and not a slave. And I just want to say thank you, Donald Trump, for that.
おばさんが前に乗り出してくるんだ。あーすげえ反則技やこれ反則じゃんこの静けさは。
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage professional wrestler Hulk Hogan.
今日のゲストすごいな。
You know something, Trump maniacs? I don't see no stinking Nazis in here.
Hell no. Hell no.
I don't see no stinking domestic terrorists in here.
Hell no.
The only thing I see in here are a bunch of hard-working men and women that are real Americans, brother. You know when I hear my president and our president, Donald Trump, speak,
he sounds for real, brother. He sounds like he has a heart of gold that's all for the USA. But when I hear Kamala speak, it sounds like a script from Hollywood with a really
Spit on that thing.
Kamala is responsible for the border crisis.
That's kind of disgusting.
And Kamala is also responsible for inflation. And then you know something? She acts like she's the victim. And then all of a sudden, she flips, she flops, she spins and turns it around and acts like she's gonna be the damn hero. But we all know Trump is the only man that can fix this country today. And with Trump as our commander-in-chief, peace through strength will fix all the problems in the Middle East. You know, I've been coming to this building month after month after month, and I've seen sold-out crowds over and over again for over 40 years. And for 40 years, I've always asked the question, what you gonna do? Over and over and over again, what you gonna do? Well, today, after feeling the energy in this building, I finally got the answer. And the answer is, vote for Trump! So now, I got a couple questions for you. What you gonna do about the border invasion? What you gonna do about inflation?
Vote Trump!
What you gonna do about keeping America safe, brother?
Vote Trump!
And what you gonna do about putting God in our homes, in our country, and our schools?
Vote Donald Trump!
So I guess we're all on the same page. So I got one final question for you. What you gonna do and who's gonna make America great again?
Trump! Trump!
God bless Donald Trump. He's our next president.
すごすぎるね。
That's the main event, but later, next, is gonna be Daddy Day.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage founder of Marriage Street Media, Dr. Phil McGraw.
私が揺れてるんじゃなくて地響きで揺れるんですよ。地響きで大観衆の地響きでドクター・フィルですね。ドクター・フィル、ドクター・フィル、ドクター・フィル、ドクター・フィル。いやビヨンセのコンサートより面白いわこれ。
You guys look just like you do when I'm on TV. Except for you, you look a little different.
556.
Listen, I love you guys for caring enough about the United States of America to come out here tonight. Thank you so much for caring enough to come out here tonight. I have to tell you, I love this country.
地響きで揺れるんですよこれ。
I do. I love this country. I stand up when our flag goes by.
固定してるんですけど、
I put my hand over my heart when they play
コ
our
ールで。
national anthem. And I'm so proud to see so many people take time out of their day to come out here and stand up for this country.
No. Yeah.
And,
Oh, I got my legs. Yeah, no, maybe.
and strangely enough, I'm not here just to stand up for Donald J. Trump. Lord knows he doesn't need me to stand up for him. He's tough as an old army boot. He's got lots of enemies, different groups that are scared, and between them, they have impeached him, indicted him, raided him, railroaded him, shot him, and sued him. And where is he? He is still standing. He just keeps on coming because he loves this country too. I can be honest and say, I can be honest because we have free speech in America. I can be honest and say I don't like or agree everything that Donald J. Trump does or says. I mean, come on. Nobody agrees with everything or likes everything somebody else says or does, right? No human is perfect. We don't strive for perfection, we strive for excellence. But you don't have to love everything about someone in order to love them. And the last thing he needs is some celebrity endorsement. What the hell do I know? I know I'm no celebrity to begin with. And celebrities don't know anything about policies or politics. So, only difference between me and them is I'm willing to admit it. So, why am I here? Well, I'll tell you why I'm here. I'm here to talk to and stand up for the people who have declared their support for Donald J. Trump, or they got found out, or they want to do it, but they're too intimidated. Because you know what happens when somebody in this country says, hey, I'm going to vote Republican, I'm going to vote Donald J. Trump? They get canceled, intimidated, marginalized, excluded, or even fired or boycotted. And you know what that means? In short, that adds up to being bullied. And now we're talking about something I know a hell of a lot about. Now you're in my wheelhouse, buddy. I may not be an expert in politics, but I am an expert about bullying. And bullying is when you seek to harm somebody, you seek to intimidate, coerce, cause distress, fear, risk to their well-being. And it can be physical, verbal, relational, or cyberbullying. And it's always wrong. You said it, my friend. It is always wrong when you bully somebody.
Well, I'm doing it right now.
And that's what's going on. Now, let me tell you what the critics are going to say when they hear me talking about this. They're going to say, well, now, wait a minute. Come on. Isn't Trump a bully? And let me tell you why the answer to that question is no. Because to be a bully, there has to be an imbalance of power. And when there's not, it's just called a debate. And he's just better at it than anybody else.
Yeah.
It's called debating. It's called arguing. It's just, they even name calling, but it's not bullying unless there's an imbalance of power. And whoever he talks to, they've got a microphone, they got on their big boy pants, they got a stage, they got everything else. He's just better at it. And the same thing is true. When the Democrats or Harris call him fascist, Hitler, racist, misogynist, or crook, is that bullying? Well, not really. It's ugly. But with the First Amendment, which we all want to keep, there's no imbalance of power, so it's not bullying. It's just like what he does. It may not be the best use of energy, but when you attack civilians, when you attack a citizen, and you use the power of the internet, you use mob mentality, you incite people to gang up and cause boycotts, then it's beyond ugly. And that's what's happening in this country right now, and that's not okay. There is an imbalance of power there, and it's time that every one of us close ranks. We have to stop this now. It's time that we push back against cancel culture. It's time that we push back against intimidation tactics. And that is exactly the reason that I launched Merritt Street Media, which, by the way, we didn't choose the name for that by random. Merritt Street Media. This country was built on hard work, added value, and talent, not on equal outcome, not on DEI. This country was built on hard work, and it needs to continue to be built on hard work. And the legacy media has sold out. The legacy media has sold out. And I'll tell you, one night I was sitting at dinner with my wife, Robin, and I was complaining as we were flipping around and listening to the spin on what supposedly news. And I said, damn, I'm tired of listening to all this media spin and everything. And without even looking up, she said, well, you are the media, why don't you do something about it? She said, you got bigger ratings than the four of them combined, why don't you do something about it? Well, as usual, she was right. And that's why I launched the new network, because we want people to think for themselves. You guys aren't dumb. You don't need to be told what to think. You just need the facts. And you're here because you have the facts, right? You're here because you recognize when legacy media edits answers and gives you what they want you to hear instead of the truth.
And when they start editing their candidates' answers, they've lost their moral compass. They've lost their way. And I would love to say it's equal on both sides, but I'll guarantee you, when Beyonce, George Clooney, De Niro, and Lizzo come out and say they're for Kamala Harris, when they all come out and say they're for Kamala Harris, did you read anything or hear anything in the media criticizing it? No. But you watch what happens tomorrow morning when people find out I came here to talk to you. You say this in Hollywood, and all of a sudden you ain't got a job. The problem is I don't need one.
Look at those guns. You think guns are guns because of that?
I don't need a job because I got you. And I've got a question for all of us. Have we lost our minds? We have the First Amendment in America where our government has said we will pass no laws to infringe on our freedoms of religion and speech. So that's the law, but we're muzzling each other. What is going on? We have a law that protects free speech, so we start taking it away from each other? Are you kidding me? We can't allow that to happen. We cannot encourage it. And let me tell you something about bullying. Bullies are bad, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Let me tell you what else is bad. Bystanders. If you are a bystander, you're just as guilty as the bully that's doing the bullying.
Me right now.
Don't let him bully you,
I have talked to so many children in schools that tell me the worst feeling they've ever had is being bullied and feeling alone and abandoned when they are picked on and intimidated, when they wish even one person, even one other kid would step up and say, hey, come sit with me at lunch. Don't sit in a stall in the bathroom and cry your way through lunch and eat alone. We're not going to let you be alone. And it's the same thing with adults. Adults don't want to be cut out of the herd and feel like they're alone. The number one need in all people is acceptance. The number one fear is rejections, and bullies, they prey on that. We must claim the right to our point of view. We must be critical thinkers, and when you see somebody being picked on, then you've got to be willing to step up and say, hey, I'm with you. Don't let that happen. And you've got to know why you're strong on the issues you're strong on. You've got to know why you're strong on affordability and safety and security and the border and family care for men and women and law and order and your core values for your children's education in our military. Know why you're where you are. And when you come to your friends and coworkers being bullied, don't be a bystander. Don't be a bystander. You can't let it happen. When you say you love America, that's a verb. That also means you love Americans. You've got to push back and call out the bullies. You've got to stand with those that have targets in their lives. Targets if they're picking on them by calling their jobs to get them fired. Boycotts or kicking them out of their jobs at church or their groups at church. I've spent 25 years listening. And I was just in North Carolina, and after the hurricane hit down there, and you know what? I saw neighbors helping neighbors, and not one of them asked, "Are you a Democrat or a Republican?"
ダブルスタンダードはダメだってさ。
I saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we need to unify this country. You have the right to vote for who you want to vote for president. And we need to step up and claim it, and we need to stand with each other.
There are so many who want to, but they're bullied, so they're afraid to. Let me tell you something. One of the most important days in American history was 9/12/2001. Not 9/11. We all know what happened on 9/11. One of the most important days was 9/12, because on 9/12 we all woke up and we were all Americans on 9/12. If you were an American on 9/12, stand up right now. If you were an American on 9/12, stand up right now. That's who we were, that's who we are. And the difference between winners and losers is winners do things losers don't want to do. And we have to stand proud to help our neighbors who want to vote their conscience and not be afraid. No one should be alone. No one should feel abandoned. No one should have their business boycotted. If you hear somebody's getting their business boycotted, you should get your friends and make sure their business gets doubled. If somebody pulls their advertising from your friend's business, you should let those advertisers know you're going to spend the rest of your life making sure that advertiser is boycotted until they do the right thing. You need to let people know this is over in America. We're going to unify this country. We're going to listen and not be intimidated. We're going to go out and lead by example. Let's quit complaining about what is and start doing something about it. If your neighbor wants to vote the other way, say fine, go vote the other way. I'll love you anyway. Let's lead by example. If they want to do it, let them do it. Love them anyway. But as for you, the collective you, I don't want you to just listen and say, nice talk, Dr. Phil. I want you to march in your life. I want you to march with your beliefs. I want you to not be intimidated. Don't be stopped, and don't just vote. Take 5 people with you. Like I said, the difference between winners and losers is winners do things losers don't want to do. And what they do is they take actions toward known outcomes. They deal with the truth. They set goals, and they go after them with passion. And it's time for us to bring it home. It's time for us to bring it home. It's time for us to be winners. Winners, winners, winners. I started by telling you I love this country. I'll finish by telling you I love this country. And I love you for loving this country. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. And before I leave, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the next Vice President of the United States, Senator J.D. Vance.
J.D. Vance です。暗くなってきたな。
It is an honor to be here with all of you at Madison Square Garden. Now think about this, for more than a century, America's most celebrated heroes and legends have made history inside this iconic arena. Where we stand is where the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali, faced Joe Frazier in the fight of the century. It's where the king, Elvis, played 80,000 screaming fans. It's where the immortal Hulk Hogan pinned the Iron Sheik and let Hulkamania. And now, on the eve of the most important election in our history, the greatest champion of them all, Donald J. Trump, has come to Madison Square Garden.
I think this thing just arrived.
And I believe in just 8 short days, we're going to turn the United States of America red and make Donald J. Trump the President of the United States.
USA, 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 USA.
Now, my friends, I've got the easiest job in American politics. Think about this. All I've got to do is remind people what life was like when Donald J. Trump was President of the United States. We had peace. We had prosperity. Take-home pay was rising the fastest that it had in 40 years. Inflation was at 1.5%, the lowest that it had been in gas and groceries were affordable. And when Donald Trump was president, we had the most secure border in the history of this country. That's the Donald Trump record, and that's a record that's going to win in just 9 short days. Now, I'm going to maybe surprise a little bit of the folks in this arena, because I'm going to be a little bipartisan here. I'm going to talk about Governor Tim Walz, and I got to be honest with you, I feel bad for him. No. Well, we ought to spare a prayer for Governor Tim Walz, because he's got the hardest job in American politics. He's got to convince the Americans. You all can say that. I probably shouldn't say that. But think about our friend Tim Walz has got to convince the American people that Kamala Harris is going to somehow fix the very problems she's been creating over the last 3.5 years. He's got to pretend that Kamala Harris didn't open up the southern border and let millions of illegal aliens in, even though we know she did. He's got to pretend that Kamala Harris didn't cast the deciding vote on trillions of dollars of new spending, which created the worst affordability crisis in 40 years in this country. And he's got to pretend that Kamala Harris actually has ideas in her head for how to govern the United States of America. Now, if you are, and I imagine a lot of us are, please say a prayer for Tim Walz, because they're asking him to do the impossible. Kamala Harris acts like she's the candidate of change when she's been in office for 4 years. She says she can fix everything, but Kamala, day one was 1,400 days ago. What the hell have you been doing that whole time? Now, my favorite Kamala Harris moment is that when somebody asks her for specifics on how she'll make life more affordable or groceries cheaper, she'll say, well, I grew up in a middle-class family. You say, Kamala Harris, how are you going to close down the southern border? Because for 4 years you've left it wide open. And she'll say, well, I made the hash browns when I worked at McDonald's, and I was pretty good at it. And anybody with a lick of common sense is saying, Kamala Harris, you didn't answer the question. You didn't actually tell the American people how you're going to fix what you broke. And I got to be honest with you, even on that McDonald's answer, I'm not sure that she ever worked at McDonald's. In fact, I think our president, Donald J. Trump, has probably worked at McDonald's for longer than Kamala Harris has.
なんだろう、焦げ臭い。なんだろう、すごく焦げ臭い。すごい焦げ臭い。何この匂い。
I will say, I'm going to say one thing in Kamala Harris's defense. She does one thing very well.
なんか焦げ臭い。
Look at this. You guys, you weren't expecting me to be so bipartisan, but I will say this for Kamala, that every time she does an interview, I think Donald Trump picks up about 100,000 votes. Now, we're of course in one of the proud baseball cities in the United States of America.
もうダメだ。
So you know the problem with a softball interview is that you've got to be able to hit a softball still, and that's the problem with Kamala Harris is I don't think that she can hit a T-ball based on what we've seen over the last couple of weeks. When she was asked what she would do differently compared to Joe Biden, she said nothing comes to mind. She's running on how she's going to be different. But she couldn't name a single thing that she would do differently than Joe Biden. Now, I will say that could be the Kamala Harris official campaign slogan. Kamala Harris, nothing comes to mind. Now, the other day, CNN asked if she had made any mistakes as vice president. Now, here's what she actually said, and I am quoting word for word. She said, in my role as vice president, I mean, I probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question. Now, I have no idea what any of that means, and frankly, neither do any of you. None of us know what the hell she says. Now, she may not be able to name any of her mistakes, but the American people sure can. And 9 days from now, we're going to tell Kamala Harris, you're fired. Go back to San Francisco where you belong. Get the hell out of the White House. Now, together, Donald J. Trump and all of us as part of this movement are going to unleash a golden age of American prosperity. We're going to make life affordable again in the United States of America. Yes. We're going to put the American dream of homeownership within reach for millions of American young people. Yes. We're going to secure our border and we're going to keep our families safe. We're going to protect your right to free speech and religious liberty. Yes. And we're going to do it all thanks to the leadership of one man. Now we have to remember, that one man, Donald J. Trump, 8 years ago, go back 8 years, he had everything. He had fame, he had fortune, he had family, he had friends. But he gave up the easy life to save the United States of America.
すごいなんか知んないけどスナイパーがすごい増えてきましたよ。
When they couldn't beat him, they tried to bankrupt him. When that didn't work, they tried to impeach him. When that didn't work, they tried to put him in federal prison, and when that didn't work, they even tried to kill him. But as sure as the American flag still waves, Donald Trump still stands, ready to fight.
テーマソングなんですね。いやーすごい。ちょっと一休みさせてくださいね。わすごいなんか。エンパイアステートビル見えますか？
Please welcome Executive Vice President of the Trump Organization, Eric Trump, and co-chair of the Republican National Committee, Lara Trump. 体中痛い。
Guys, this isn't politics. This isn't politics. This is a family. It's hard. We love you too. We love you too. This is so much more than a political movement. This is the greatest family in the world. We are fighting for a country we love. We are fighting for the American flag. We are fighting for the Constitution. We are fighting for our liberty. And as a family, we've been out there every single day over the last 10 years. They've tried everything they could to destroy my father, to destroy us. Dirty dossiers, Russian hoaxes. They tried to impeach him twice. They went after his Supreme Court nominees. They threw him off of Facebook. They threw him off of Twitter. They threw him off of Instagram. They tried to take away his First Amendment right. Guys, they tried absolutely everything. They weaponized every DA and every AG in this country to try and take down my father. Here in New York, they did exactly that. Alvin Bragg, Letitia James. They tried to destroy his life. They tried to take him off the ballot in Colorado. They tried to take him off the ballot in Maine. They tried to subdue the vote of literally hundreds of millions of Americans who absolutely adore the guy. Guys, it's been political lawfare every single day. And then somebody tried to kill him. And despite that, every single time he stands up and he says, fight, fight, fight. And how do you think it feels for them as we're back in Madison Square Garden, the greatest arena anywhere in the world? Guys, I saw the Rangers play here and win the Cup in '94. Every Knicks game, every concert, the greatest arena anywhere in the world. And you better believe the entire party who has failed at taking down Donald Trump, an entire party who has failed at taking down his family, they're sitting there on those cameras right now, watching all of us, watching all of you. Almost 200,000 people tried to get into this event tonight.
How much? 2,000. So why not like pass it in there?
2,000。
Just like
マジソンスクエアがいっぱいになるぐらいだからね。
The streets, Fifth Avenue, all the way from Trump Tower, all the way down to Madison Square Garden, 10 people deep. That's how much love there is in the greatest city anywhere in the world. Guys, in 9 days, we're gonna win. We're gonna win.
Take back America.
And not only is he going to make America great again, he's going to make New York City great again. So on behalf of our entire family, thank you. Thank you for being on the greatest ride I could have ever possibly been a part of. Thank you for 10 incredible years. I want you to know, and I speak on behalf of my entire family, I want you to know that we will never stop fighting. My father will never stop fighting. Lara will never stop fighting. I'll never stop fighting. We live in the greatest country in the world. We are not going to allow that to slip away. And I promise you guys the best days of this nation are ahead of us. I love you very much. New York, it's an honor to be here.
頭痛い。
Alright, y'all aren't done with us just yet. I'll say a few things if that's okay with everybody here. Can I just say how honored I am to be the co-chair of the Republican National Committee for you guys? I'll tell you something, we're making sure that we have free, fair, and transparent elections and nobody's cheating. We are 9 days away from making sure we send a loud and clear message to the mainstream media, to the establishment, to the Democrats, to Hollywood, that it is not them. It is we, the people, who choose our president. And we're choosing Donald J. Trump. And I gotta tell you, it is incredible to be here in Madison Square Garden, in New York City, the greatest city on earth, in the greatest country on earth, the United States of America. Because if you think about it, New York City made Donald Trump, right? Yeah. But Donald Trump also made New York City. He changed the skyline of this city, rebuilt it. Remember whenever they couldn't get an ice skating rink, Walman Rink in Central Park? Donald Trump rebuilt the ice skating rink for New York City. By the way, under budget and ahead of schedule, if I'm not mistaken, because that's how we like to do things in the Trump family. And when nobody else was doing it, Donald Trump put his heart and soul right here in New York City. It's true, and this is the city that made him a household name. This is the city that put Donald Trump in so many rap songs, by the way. Right? And truly made him the American dream. But I'll tell you something. Being a New Yorker teaches you something else, doesn't it? It teaches you how to be tough. It teaches you that it doesn't matter how hard you get hit. You get back up and you keep fighting.
これはしんどいわ。
When they hit you, you keep fighting. When they indict you, you keep fighting. When they take a mugshot of you, the greatest mugshot in the history of the world. You strikes you, you don't lay down. You get up, you stand strong, and you keep fighting, right?
ずっと立ち見席なのでね、立ち見席でね。
Anybody hear about a little rally up the street in the Bronx? Yeah.
痛い痛い痛い痛い。
Does anybody know the last time a Republican president campaigned in the Bronx? It was Ronald Reagan, and ladies and gentlemen, he turned New York red. I'm just saying. It is the honor of my life to be part of this movement, and Eric is right. This is not just about politics. We are all a big family, and we're a family who loves this country. And I can tell you something, 9 days from now, it is going to be the sweetest comeback, because we know the art of the deal. We also know the art of the comeback from Donald Trump that this country has ever seen. Everybody get out, vote early, take a friend to vote. Let's make America great again. We love you, New York!
痛い痛い痛い痛い痛い痛い痛い。そろそろ来てくれないともう壊れる。N 様壊れる。立ちっぱなしで壊れる。じゃないかなと。
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Donald Trump Jr.
人気ねえな。ジュニアさんですよ、ジュニアさん。あ、もう助けて、助けて、助けて。あらしんどい。ジュニアさん勘弁して。痛い痛い痛い痛い。
Hello, Madison Square Garden! Are you guys ready to take your country back?
ズボンが脱げそう。
Guys, this is not my first rodeo.
ズボンが脱げそう。
It's the third go around, but you think this could have ever happened 4 or 8 years ago in the heart of New York City? The king of New York is back to reclaim the city that he built.
Yes.
My father changed the skyline of this city. He fixed the things that incompetent bureaucrats couldn't handle. He did that against all odds. He did it for our country too, and now everyone recognizes it. What's unique about this election, folks, you've had 4 years under both leaders. The media would like to pretend that Kamala Harris started her political career about a month ago in a coup. The most democratic process to ever not have a single vote. She's going to be a moderate, folks. She's going to be a moderate. A radical San Francisco liberal. The daughter of a Marxist professor is now magically going to be a moderate. No one's buying it anymore. You know why? Because they've been lying to you for the last 9 years.
years, and you're not buying their crap anymore. You've had enough. The fact that I could drive here today with my father for like 25 blocks and watch the streets of New York lined up with red MAGA hats tells us everything you need to know.
This one.
You had 4 years under Donald Trump, and despite the most vicious opposition from the media, from big tech, from the Democrats, and even from the weakling Republicans, you got results. We got peace deals done. Our enemies weren't invading their neighbors. The economy grew. Inflation was next to nothing. And then Kamala Harris and Joe Biden took over, and everything went to hell like that. I keep watching it in the news, it's amazing. Kamala Harris is going to fix all these things. I say, you know what?
ジュニアさんってあんま人気ないですね。ちょっとごめん、少し休ませて。
You know, you had 4 years. Why didn't you maybe get going? You're going to wait till January 20th? Americans are suffering. People can't make rent. Businesses are going under. Grocery prices are too expensive. I tell a story. Last summer, I was coming back from a fishing trip with 2 of my boys. And we went to McDonald's. 14-year-old and me. Let me tell you, if Donald Trump Jr. has sticker shock at McDonald's, we have a serious problem. It does not have to be this way, guys. We can change it, but it's going to take all of you. You know, these days, you know, everyone's a tough guy. Everyone's a tough guy on the keyboard, on the internet. You know, everyone's a badass. But when you get shot in the face and you come back defiant, ready to fight, that's a badass. That's the guy. Yeah. That's the guy that can fix the problems that we have. That's the guy that's going to keep our enemies in check. That's a guy that's going to fight for each and every one of you. He's done it once. Let's send him back to Washington, D.C. with an overwhelming mandate to fix racism once and for all.
Yep.
Guys, look at the people who have spoken here tonight.
少しストレッチしました。
Look at some of the people who are still coming. When did you think you'd be able to get RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk?
イーロン出てくるのかな。
People from all different walks of life, incredible skill sets, whether it be health, whether it be technology, everything. You have them on one unified ticket.
イーロンいたらすごい
Think
な。
about that. Compare that to Kamala Harris and Tampon Tim. It ain't the same, folks. Timmy ain't fixing anything, and neither is Kamala. We have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to change Washington, to put in common sense practices, to put Americans first, because they're not first right now. The Democrat Party has forgotten about Americans. Rather than cater to Americans, they decided, you know what?
どうすれば
It would just be easier to
あれなの、
replace
音声だけにできるの。
reliable voters.
もう本当に
The insanity has to stop. And
も
the
う
fact
自撮りもダメ。だから三脚は絶対ダ
in the
メ。
heart of New York City
More.
shows me that the spirit of the American people is there. That same spirit my father showed on July 13th, that's the spirit of America. That's the spirit we need going into Election Day. So for the next 9 days, each and every one of you,
痛い痛い。
you line up like you're the third monkey on line for the ark and it's starting to rain. You vote early and then you bring your friends so that we can take back our country once and for all. And when we do that, guys, we're not just gonna make America great again, we're gonna make the world great. We're gonna make the world safe. We're gonna fix it all. Get out there, guys, and just like you're gonna fight, get out there and vote, 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 vote. New York City.
Vote for Trump. The best.
なんか私ね、しょっちゅうね、地元のマスコミの人にね、写真撮られるの。なんでだろう。写真撮りたいね。ブルックリンの帽子かぶる。
Please welcome to the stage CEO of the UFC.
ごめん、ちょっと待って。ちょっと待って。誰？
Ladies and gentlemen, we are 9 days away from the most important election of my lifetime.
Wait.
Stakes have never been higher. President Trump and I have been friends for 25 years. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. He is the most resilient, hardest working human being that I've ever met in my life. I know he's a great leader. This is not my opinion, not my hope. He's proven he can build the strongest economy in American history. He's proven he can secure our borders and keep our nation safe. He's proven to be the strong leader allies and adversaries alike must respect. He's proven he loves this country so much, he's literally put his life on the line for it. What is the other candidate proven? She can get your party's nomination without even facing voters. What else? What else can she offer the American people other than vague promises and no plan? She talks a lot about the need for change and a hope for the future. Hope and change. Does that sound familiar? She can use the old Obama playbook, but she's not Obama, and she is no agent of change. She is the sitting vice president of the United States right now. What she hopes is voters will focus on the future because she doesn't want us looking at the last 4 years to see what we really need to change. We need change from sky-high inflation. According to Yahoo Finance, the cost of groceries is up over 25% during the Biden-Harris administration. Food is unaffordable for most Americans. That has to change.
Yep.
We need change from wide open borders. BBC News reports illegal immigration reached record levels since they took office, with an estimated 10 million border crossings. That's a 300% increase compared to the Trump administration, and that's not including the unknown millions who cross undetected. That is the record of the other candidate, the border czar of the Biden administration.
Now we ended up happening here.
We need change from weak foreign policy. According to the Institute for Economics and Peace, a nonpartisan think tank, think about this, there are more active armed conflicts now than any time since World War II. Weakness, from the Biden-Harris administration has invited aggression and conflicts around the globe. When President Trump was our commander-in-chief, the world was a much more peaceful place.
Yeah. Yes! So true.
J.D. Vance touched on this, but I want to hit it again. Vice President Harris was asked recently by the objective journalists of The View if there's anything she would have done differently than Biden over the past 4 years. And again, her answer was, there is not a thing that comes to mind. So, don't take my word for it, take hers. She will not change a thing. Hope is nice, but hope is not a plan. Change is needed, but change won't come from the status quo. And she is the status quo. If you want real change, you'll vote for proven leadership. If you want to return to economic prosperity, border security, and global stability, you'll vote for the one candidate who's proven he can deliver all of that. My fellow Americans, if you want what's best for your family and this country, you're going to vote Donald J. Trump as the 47th President of the United States.
Imagine he would have promoted one of John
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Chairman and CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, Howard Lutnick.
もうね、5時間トイレに行けてないんですよ。
Hello, New York!
はい。
I mean, it was not on my bucket list, okay? People like me do not get to play Madison Square Garden. This place rocks! All right, most of you in New York, maybe you know my story. My company is called Cantor Fitzgerald. And we were located on the 101st to the 105th floors of the World Trade Center. I get to be here today because I was taking my son Kyle to his first day of kindergarten that morning. 23 years ago, I lost 658 of my friends and colleagues. I had 960 who worked in New York that day, and we lost 658 people. And we rebuilt that company to take care of the families of those that I lost. So we took care of those families. Each of my employees, they took 25% of their salaries and they gave it to the families of the people we lost, because that's what New Yorkers do. And we gave those families $180 million. So, the first thing, we must elect Donald J. Trump president, because we must crush jihad!
We're waiting for
love this city. I love this city. And Donald Trump loves this city no matter how crappy they treat him. He is back because he loves you and he loves this city. We all say, make America great again. But let's just go over for a minute what that means. Because we all say it as a slogan. When was America great? At the turn of the century, our economy was rocking. This is 125 years ago. We had no income tax. And all we had was tariffs. All we had was tariffs. And we had so much money that we had the greatest businessmen of America get together to try to figure out how to spend it. That's who we were then. But then we had World War I and we had World War II. And we felt we had a duty to rebuild the rest of the world. So here's what we did. We took down our protection. We took down our tariffs. And we turned instead and we taxed Americans so that we could export the power of our economy and save the rest of the world, which we did. Now let me ask you a question. What decade should that have ended? Should it have ended in the 80s? The 90s? 2000? What in the world are we doing? We're letting the rest of the world eat our lunch. And it is time to make America great again. What does America first mean? We all say America first. What does America first mean? American citizens employed first. NAFTA. Bill Clinton's favorite I hate Michigan move. Open the border. Take all car manufacturing and move it to Mexico and screw over everyone in America who works in the auto industry. We don't make cars here. I mean, they make our cars in China and ship them here. It's got to end. So when he says America first, let's be crystal clear. He is saying employ American citizens first. Okay. The Harris-Biden administration has set us up with a $6.5 trillion spending budget on our taxes of $4.5 trillion as they screw our children's future to the wall. We lose $2 trillion this year, $2 trillion. And Donald Trump is going to build the greatest team to ever walk into government, and we are going to balance our budget. And when we balance our budget, the world is going to feel what it feels like to unleash the full power of the United States economy and its amazing workforce. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to introduce the co-founder with me of the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, Madison Square Garden. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the greatest capitalist in the history of the United States of America, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk 来たマジかよ、もうオールキャストじゃない。エロンマスエロン
I'm not just MAGA. I'm dark, gothic MAGA. Well, it's the energy in this room is incredible.
Rich billionaire.
What a great group of people.
I've only got one question for you, then I'm getting out of here because this is your stage. But we set up Doge.
Yes.
How much do you think we can rip out of this wasted $6.5 trillion Harris-Biden budget?
Well, I think we can do at least $2 trillion.
Yeah! 2 trillion.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're being taxed. You're being taxed. All government spending is taxation. So whether it's direct taxation or all government spending, it either becomes inflation or it's direct taxation. Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that. We're going to get the government off your back and out of your pocketbook. And America's just not just going to be great. America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing!
Everything black.
No, not me.
Everything black.
Elon.
You guys are awesome. Honestly,
いやー、オールキャストやね。やっぱおそらくこれが最後のね、あれだわ。
that America is all about.
あ、ごめん。
Yeah.
痛い。
USA. Now, I have something I want to ask you to do though, because obviously we're somewhat preaching to the converted in this stadium, but there's a lot of people out there who need to vote for President Trump. Okay, so this is a real battle. This is a real election battle. So you need to get friends and family to vote. Make sure they vote early. This is important. We're going to be putting up a scorecard, okay? An early vote scorecard, state by state, county by county. What is the scorecard? Vote early. Vote now.
もうね、
Yeah.
期日前投票早く済ましてほしいって言ってますね。投票所に何か起きるかもしれないからね。
The margin of victory so big that you know what can't happen.
massive, overwhelming sweep of every swing state, and even some of the states that people don't think are swing states. Massive, crushing victory. Get everyone, friends, family, people on the street. Put the signs up, put the hat on. Let's go. And with that, it is my honor to introduce the First Lady, Melania Trump.
来るのか、ついに。あ、メラニアさんですね。メラニアさん。奥様ですね。メラニアさん、ファッションショーみたいですね。
Good evening, New York City! Hello, Madison Square Garden! Our hometown, your architectural symbols of strength, courage, and unity, and a canvas for the world's undefeated capital of industry. Where titans of finance, fashion, and entertainment convene among an iconic range of superior design, structures, and artistic accomplishments.
You wanna go home? What's he gonna do? Oh, Donald Trump ain't coming. I think that.
And American ingenuity blossoms among determined citizens who race across city streets and between offices, striving for success. It is you who are the heartbeat of this great metropolis. It is you who are the pulse of this America. Yet, New York City is unforgiving. In fact, our lives are complicated even during the best of times. And sadly today, a decline in quality of life coupled with economic instability makes it difficult for business to thrive. Love you too. Crime is on the rise, while public safety diminishes, creating an environment where families with young children choose to relocate. And this story repeats itself from coast to coast across our nation. This is America. For generations, this town has produced America's most fearless leaders, whose mark changed the course of the world. New York City and America needs their magic back. country of tomorrow that will shape our future and reset expectations for the generations. Envision a wonderful America where the seeds of security, prosperity, and health are sown once again for benefit of our families. Let us start together with a shared vision that builds on American greatness. Let's seize this moment and create a country for tomorrow, the future that we deserve. And now,赤のネクタイです。赤のネクタイです。6時間待ったかいあったわ。会場が割れています。割れています。もうね、すごい割れています。よし、頑張るぞ。頑張るからね。ちょっと待って。よし。
In the main event.
you, everybody.
ありがとう皆さんありがとう。いや赤に紺のスーツですよ今日は紺のスーツ。
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much to a very popular former First Lady, hopefully First Lady again. And I just want to say a very big hello to a special place, New York, and to an incredible arena, Madison Square Garden. And then we have all of the people that could fill it up 10 times. You take a look at outside what's going on all the way nobody's ever seen before.
なんかトランプさんもね、そうですねこれ。
And I want to thank Jim Dolan. He's been incredible. He's been just incredible. The job they've done.
すいませんこれ地面が揺れてるんです地面が。
But I'm thrilled to be back in the city I love and thousands of proud, hard-working American patriots. You're with me. We're all together. We've always been together. And I'd like to begin by asking a very simple question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?
4年前に戻りたいかいって。
I'm here today with a message of hope for all Americans. With your vote in this election, I will end inflation. I will stop the invasion of criminals coming into our country.
私はねもうインフレはもう終わらせますって。
American dream. We need the American dream.
アメリカ人がね正当なアメリカンドリームを見られるよう
Our
に。
country will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer. And stronger than ever before.
私たちの国が強くて美しくてそして繁栄したものに必ずしますから。それがあなた方のチョイスなんです。あなた方の一票がそれにかかっているのです。
Or whether we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. We will achieve success that no one can imagine. We will have the strongest economy, the most secure borders, the safest cities,
あんなに
the
強い
most
経済で
powerful military,
もうミリタリーも強
the
くてね
best trade
そし
deals
て
that we will dominate the frontiers of science, medicine, business, technology, and
すべてのテ
space.
クノロジーも製薬も乗っ取られてし
And
まっ
I'm
たと。
asking you to be excited about the future of our country again. I'm asking you to dream big again. We're going to dream big again. We haven't been dreaming big at all.
もう一度夢を見ましょう。おいおいおいおいおいおいあんちゃんあんちゃんあんちゃんあんちゃん。
Quickly too, very quickly. Every problem facing us can be solved, but now the fate of our nation is in your hands. Next Tuesday, you have to stand up and you have to tell Kamala Harris that you've done a terrible job. That crooked Joe Biden has done a terrible job. You've destroyed our country. We're not going to take it anymore. Kamala, you're fired. Get out.
とっとと出ていけやがれこの野郎。
Early voting is underway in every state and we're setting all-time records. They're voting, I'm going to tell you what. But we have to keep it going. We're going to get out and vote. We just have to get out. And who would have thought this was going to happen? We're leading in every swing state.
You have to take one from the team. Okay.
But it doesn't mean anything. It only means how are we doing at the end. So look, we have 9 days from now, and we're going to defeat Kamala Harris, and we're going to win back the beautiful White House. And we're going to make America great again, and it's going to happen fast.
カメラを倒して早くホワイトハウスにみんなで帰ろう。
Thank you.
USA! 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 USA!
In 4 years, Kamala Harris has shattered our middle class. She cast the deciding votes that launched the worst inflation in the history of our country. She cost the typical American family over $3,000 in a short period, but over $30,000 over the last 3 years. She killed 50,000 manufacturing jobs this year alone.
5万社のね、製造業の企業を潰したって言ってますね。
33% tax hike on all domestic production. If Kamala Harris gets 4 more years, our economy can never recover.
もしカマラ・ハリスがあと4年やったら、もう我々の経済はね、決して立ち直らないって。早く立ち退かせて私たちの歴史を築きましょう。
Which is what we had in our last term. We will rapidly defeat inflation and we will
インフレを倒しましょう。
Make America affordable again.
アフォーダブル。アフォーダブル。
I will massively cut taxes for workers and small businesses, and we will have no tax on tips.
シップには課税しません。
No tax on overtime.
残業費にもタックスをかけません。
Social security benefits for our seniors.
ソーシャルセキュリティ保険にも課税はしません。
And I'm announcing a new policy today that I will support a tax credit for family caregivers who take care of a parent or a loved one. It's about time that they were recognized, right? They add so much to our country and are never spoken of, but they're going to be spoken of now. Thank you all very much. I'll also make interest on car loans fully tax deductible, but only for cars made in America. We will achieve energy independence, and we will do something. We want it so badly. We're going to do something. You know what we're going to do? Front row jokes.
エネルギーの独立国にしましょうね。
I got the ladies from North Carolina, number 249. This is the 200, and you look so beautiful. We have a lot of people, they followed us, but we're going to do something. The ladies can tell you what we're going to do. We're going to drill a baby drill. And I will terminate the Green New Scam, and we'll cut your energy prices in half. Within 1 year.
光熱費を半分にカットしますって言ってます。
Is the fake news hearing that? Whoa! Look how much. Wow, that's a lot of fake news.
もう周りはフェイクニュースだらけだ。こんなにいいこと言ってんのに。
That's a lot of fake news.
あまりにもフェイクニュースが多くて。
Wow. That's got to be a record, Mr. Speaker. I think that's a record. That is a lot of figures back there. To bring back millions of jobs, we will give our companies the lowest taxes, the lowest energy costs, the lowest regulatory burdens, and free access to the best and biggest market on the planet. Remember this, if we keep going like this, we won't have the biggest and the best. We won't have a market, we won't have a country. But only for those who make their product here in the USA and hire American workers for the job. And if these companies don't make their products here, then they will pay a very stiff tariff when they send their products into the United States for the privilege of competing with our workers and our now protected companies. We're going to protect our companies. They're not leaving anymore. They're not leaving anymore.
痛い痛い痛い痛い。
We're also going to pass the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act, meaning if China or any other country charges us 100 or 200% tax or tariff, we will then charge them a 100 or 200% tax or tariff.
中国とか他の国が来たら 100% から 200% のカット、タックスを関税をかけると。 そして私たちの国の製造業と雇用を守りたいと。そしたらここで生まれ育った子どもたちがこんなに強くてこれほどリッチでこれほど繁栄した国に住んでいるという誇りを持てるじゃないか。 もちろんのことですが私たちの国境を守ります。痛い痛い。
It's bigger than the economy. What they're doing to our country, they're allowing criminals from all over the world to enter our country. Over the past 4 years, Kamala Harris has orchestrated the most egregious betrayal that any leader in American history has ever inflicted upon our people. She has violated her oath, eradicated our sovereign border, and unleashed an army of migrant gangs who are waging a campaign of violence and terror against our citizens. There has never been anything like it anywhere in the world for any country.
カマラ・ハリスがボーダーを開けたおかげでね。
Insane asylums and mental institutions from all around the world, from Venezuela to the Congo. A lot of people are coming from the Congo prisons.
本物の囚人たちもこの国に入ってきてるんだそうです。
Over the last month, 181 countries violated our laws, and she has resettled them into your communities to prey upon innocent American citizens. But the day I take the oath of office, the migrant invasion of our country ends, and the restoration of our country begins.
中国とかに乗っ取られたそういった企業とかそういったものを必ずリベンジを果たします。
Venezuelan prison gang.
ベネズエラの刑務所に入っていたような人間たちをわざわざ釈放して南の国境からこの国へ入国させていたと。今はもうアメリカの各地にとって知っていますが。
They've even taken over Times Square. Take a look.
これは今のタイムズスクエアの様子です。見てみてください。これベネズエラのギャングたちだそうです。
By members of the Venezuelan gang, Biden years have created a program to bring them in under humanitarian law. I am in favor of saying that we're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the borders. More than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been released into the United States.
Kayla's murderer was apprehended by Border Patrol crossing illegally into the U.S.
Kayla's murderer had been improperly released into the United States.
Dan Williams probably would be the best started from scratch.
More than a dozen people suspected of being Melania gang members right here in San Antonio.
The gang members have been terrorizing the apartment complex. New details in the murder of Lincoln Riley, illegal immigrant suspect who cops say committed heinous murder, is a Venezuelan national.
He was paroled and released into the country by the Biden administration.
Two-minute investigators say in the country illegally from Venezuela on charge of capital murder and the death of Jocelyn Nunley.
Martinez when unheld, wrapped his arms around Jocelyn's neck till off her pants, and climbed on top of her, finished strangling Jocelyn to death, and they're tied up with hands and
これはもう全部不法移民たちがね犯した罪をこうまとめたビデオを流します。
members of that Venezuelan street gang demand threatened to cut off her fingers for shooting our corporate Melania Hernandez was booked by Capitol Police just 2 days earlier and released the day before the robbery. A Peruvian gang leader who was wanted for 23 murders, who was arrested by Border Patrol in Arizona, Texas, then released into America.
アメリカが乗っ取られる。
That's who we're allowing into our country. We're not going to have a country any longer. That's who we're allowing in. The United States is now an occupied country, but it will soon be
アメリカは今や占領された国となってしまっています。やっといなくなってくる。あ、いたいたいたいたいた。
9 days from now, will be Liberation Day in America. It's going to be Liberation Day. On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history to get the criminals out.
いや結構ね黒人の人がいるん
We
で
will
すよ。
rescue every city and town that has been invaded and conquered, and we will put these vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail and kick them the hell out of our country as fast as possible. And to expedite removals of Tren de Aragua and other savage gangs like MS-13, which is equally vicious. I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Think of that. That's how far back. That's when they had law and order. They had some tough ones. Think of the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. You hear that, Mr. Speaker? Get ready. To target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil. And there are lots of them. We don't have the same country anymore, you know that. And you know, when you look at the polls and they say about the economy and they have all these different things, the worst nightmare that we're facing is what they've done to us on our borders. We have the safest border in the world. In fact, there's a chart, which I hope they have, because I didn't tell them I wanted it, but there's a chart that I love very much because I wouldn't be here without it.
あ、出た出た出た出た、あの表だ。
I'm in love with it. I love that chart.
このチャート表が大好きだって。
Even if it had bad numbers, I would have loved that chart. But it does. It is great numbers. If you look at the arrow on the bottom, you'll see that was the day I left office. That was the lowest illegal immigration that we've ever had in recorded history, the recorded history of our country. And then look at it. It was like an Elon Musk rocket ship. Look at what happens. Look at what happened after that. And if they come back into our country, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole. And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen. America is a sanctuary for criminals and for illegal aliens that are in our country illegally. I will immediately ban all sanctuary cities in the United States. This incompetence disqualifies her from being president of the United States of America. She is grossly incompetent. All you have to do is look at her interviews, look at what she did the other night on fake news CNN, just take a look.
It's retarded!
She couldn't answer a question. She's unfit for office. Everyone knows her. No one respects her. No one trusts her. No one takes her seriously. Everyone knows she is a very low IQ individual.
まあカマラ・ハリスの IQ が低いということはみんなも知ってるでしょう。
To the war in Ukraine, to the nightmare on our border, to her inflation catastrophe, all done in conjunction with Sleepy Joe.
スリーピー・ジョーと一緒でインフレの終わらせ方も分かってない。
After 4 o'clock, it's time to go to bed. To isn't her egregious hurricane response, the worst response in North
ハリ
Carolina
ケーン
and
ハ
other
リケーンの対
states
応がもう最悪でしたと。
since Katrina, but I think it was even worse than Katrina. They haven't even responded in North Carolina. They haven't even responded. There's nobody. They don't see any FEMA. You know why? They spent their money on bringing in illegal migrants, so they didn't have money for Georgia and North Carolina and Alabama and Tennessee and Florida and South Carolina. They didn't have any money for them. They spent all of their money on bringing in illegal immigrants and flying them in by beautiful jet planes. They flew in. We just found out about a year and a half ago. Remember, we said, what's going on with those planes? There are a lot of planes going over there. What are they? They would fly them into the middle of our country, our beautiful, beautiful country. And you know what happened? You take a look at Springfield, Ohio. Think of this. Think of this.
BLM だったんじゃないかっていうような人
Where
たちが来てるんだよね。
30,000 illegal migrants were put into a town of 50,000 people. No place can withstand that. Or take a look at Aurora in Colorado. Colorado is going to vote for us. You know why? Typically they go a little bit the other way. Of course, with their voting system, I'm not so sure about that. But you know why? Because they tried to throw the leading candidate of both parties, meaning me. I was leading both parties off the ballot. And the people of Colorado, including Democrats, are very angry about it. They are a threat to democracy, to use their terms. Isn't it nice to have somebody that's your president that doesn't need a teleprompter? We haven't been on teleprompter for a long time. We haven't been on this teleprompter. No, it is nice. You saw the other day where Kamala got a little stuck on the teleprompter went a little bad. It stopped her. You have to be, you know, if you're a politician, you have to be
トランプさんは
able to
プロンプターなしでも話せるんだけど、カマラ・ハリスはプロンプターがないとね、壊れたラジオみたいになっちゃうんだって。
But it happens a lot as a politician.
時々なんかね、プロンプターを読めない時もあるらしいって。
Politicians use great ones.
すごいこけおろし方やね。
Some are not so good, but great ones. And when Newt or when the speaker or when Tommy Tuberville, who's here someplace, the great senator from Alabama, or when any one of our literally 75, by the way, should I introduce all of them? I should. Should I? No? Yes? I don't know. It's a lot. Speaker, should I? I don't know. Will they be angry at me? Yeah, they will. It's a lot of introducing, right? Let's keep going with this speech, huh? But you know, when you have when you're in this profession, I have a friend who wanted to come in. I said, you like speaking? Well, I do, but I have a great fear of speaking. I said, don't be a politician. If you have a fear of speaking, don't be a politician. But one thing you have to know is that no matter how good your people are that operate this machinery, it's going to break. And you're going to be out there all by yourself a lot. And you're going to be able to do so. 3 weeks ago, she was saying there was only 32 days left, right? And she's reading it like, there's 32 days, and it stopped. And she went, there's 32 days. 32, 32, and I was watching. I said, this isn't pretty.
だからカマラ・ハリスさんの演説が プロンプターが壊れた途端に同じ32って言い続けた。頭悪いんじゃねえかっつって。頭悪いんじゃねえか。
But if that ever happened, it happens all the time. I was campaigning in Ohio for a very Bernie Marino. He's doing a good job. I think he's maybe going to win in Ohio. The problem he's got his opponent, Brown, Sherrod Brown. He's taking ads in like he's my best friend. He never votes for me. He's not my best friend. Ohio's been very friendly to Trump. We win it all the time by a landslide. But the opponent is taking ads. I got 4 of them. I think we have 4 of them, right? They're taking ads. All of a sudden, they love Trump. We agree with Trump on tariffs. We agree with Trump on the border. We love Trump. And they're Democrats. Our friends growing up, did they switch to the Republican Party? But it happened with Bernie Marino. I was in Ohio to try and get him over the initial primary hump. And it was 45-mile-an-hour winds, and these suckers were blowing like, you ever try reading a teleprompter where it's moving about 2 feet in each? But I didn't have to worry about that because even worse, they ended up blowing off the stage, a lot of it. So I'm now in the first sentence, and I got 28,000 people and millions of people watching the television. I got no television. And did I do a good job, Mr. Speaker? And he won. I won, huh? Thank you, Matt. And he won. And so you're up there all alone. We don't go 32, oh my God. Kamala Harris is a train wreck who has destroyed everything in her path. To make her president would be a gamble with the lives of millions and millions of people. She would get us into the lives of millions and millions of people. She would get us into World War III. We're very close to World War III. If you don't have a smart president, if you don't have a president that gets it, if you don't have a president that is respected by the other side, and they did respect us 4 years ago, they really respected us. Iran was broke, they had no money. Russia wouldn't have played with us at all. Russia would have never got into Ukraine. Israel, October 7th would never, ever have happened. Never happened. All those people would be alive right now. Those people who were killed on that horrible day. But if you don't have a president that gets it, you know what else you wouldn't have had? You wouldn't have had the most embarrassing day in the history of our country, in my opinion, Afghanistan, the way not that they got out, we were getting out, but we were going to get out with dignity and strength. We got out. An embarrassment, the likes of which this country has never suffered. And because of that, Putin looked at us and they probably figured we were a paper tiger. And he went into Ukraine, and the rest is history. It would have never happened with us. And you wouldn't have had any inflation. You know, we had the best economy, but we had no inflation. And inflation has destroyed a lot of seniors on fixed income, and a lot of people in this room have been virtually destroyed by inflation. You wouldn't have had inflation. They screwed up our energy, and it went up so much, and then they started spending far too much money on things like the Green Year scam, which is just a scam, just a complete scam. They actually admitted that, if you think about it. But she would get us into World War III because she's incompetent, can't do the job, unfit for it, and then all of your sons and daughters will end up getting a little notice. They say, Mom, Dad, what is this little green piece of paper? Oh, yeah, darling, that's a draft notice. They're drafting you to go and fight in some country that I've never heard of this country. I've never heard of this country before. Oh, no, I don't want my baby to fight. I don't want my baby to be killed. What they did in Afghanistan with those 13 great soldiers, I've gotten to know the parents so well, and leaving all of that equipment behind, and leaving Americans behind, and many, many people with no legs and no arms, all because of incompetent people. But we don't want your sons and daughters to get a little draft notice and you have to explain to them what it means.
We're tired of fighting. I'm the only president in the last 84 years that didn't start a war. Remember Crooked Hillary? Remember Crooked Hillary Clinton? Crooked Hillary, oh, she was a beauty. During one of her many debates, she said, look at him, listen to him. He's going to start a war. Listen to his rhetoric. He's going to start a war. I said, no, no, no. My rhetoric is going to keep us out of wars. And that's what happened. 82 years. Other than I finished off ISIS, but that was already started. We had stupid generals like Milley and Mattis, weak, stupid people. But fear not, we have great generals, just not the ones you see on television all the time. And we wiped them out very quickly. It was going to take 5 years. Mattis said it would take 5 years, and I'm not sure we could do it.
もう6時間スマホ手で持ち続けてるんですよ。
We have great generals. We have the greatest military in the world. Just a lot of people don't know that. And everybody knows it, but you know, I saw the other day a report that they issued that if we end up in a war with China, we cannot win, we're not strong enough. So I said to myself, assuming that's true, how stupid are you to put out a report like that? How stupid. Why would you put out a report? Then they say, oh, Trump is not truthful. No, I'm smart. You don't put out reports like that. And it's not true. We would kick their ass. It's not true.
黒人のお兄ちゃんがもう本当に、もうこのお兄ちゃんに邪魔されてもダメだ。取れない。
Our enemies are laughing at her. They want her to win so badly. Oh, they don't want Trump. They don't want Trump. I made this position a very dangerous one because of that. It's a very dangerous. You know, if you drive a race car, you have 1/10 of 1% chance of dying. If you ride the bulls, I think the bulls are pretty nasty, right? You have about the same 1/10 of 1% of dying. If you become president of the United States, you're going to have a shot at dying. I never knew that when I ran. I never thought about it, but here we are. Here we are. And I'm okay with it. And I would rather be here than any place in the world. It's called a very dangerous profession. But if we win, our enemies won't be laughing anymore. They're not going to be laughing. And you know what? The truth is I got along with all of them. I got along with Putin. Ukraine was the apple of his eye, but I said, Vladimir, don't go in. Remember, I ended the pipeline in Europe. I ended the pipeline in Europe. And then when Biden came in, he approved it. But he ended the Keystone pipeline, the one in America. So he got it a little mixed up, didn't he, huh? Nord Stream 2, I said, we're ending Nord Stream 2. Everybody said, what is Nord Stream 2? I said, that's the massive Russian pipeline where they're going to make a fortune, where they're going to Germany and all countries in Europe. So I said, you mean we're fighting to help them with NATO and spending all of that money, and they're paying the person or the group that we're fighting billions of dollars a month? What the hell are we doing? I ended it. It was dead. And Biden came along and he approved it. Weak. Look, 30 years ago he was not considered smart either, so now he's really not smart. If we win, America will be respected, and even if it's necessary, feared again, it's not the worst word. On issue after issue, Kamala broke it, but I will fix it. We're going to fix it. But we're just not running against Kamala. I think a lot of our politicians here tonight know this. She means nothing. She's purely a vessel, that's all she is. When you see her up there talking about the grass on my front lawn, I grew up in a middle class neighborhood and I had grass on my front lawn. Yeah, but we're asking, what would you do to fix the country? And why didn't you do it? You had almost 4 years. Why didn't you do this stuff? Now she's becoming more MAGA than those politicians I just told you about from the different states. She can't put 2 sentences together. She's just like, she's really just like, in many ways, crooked Joe Biden. And she never said to us, she never told us that Joe was not functioning properly. She should have. Because, we're talking about the life of the most important country in the world. We need very smart people. We're running against something far bigger than Joe or Kamala, and far more powerful than them, which is a massive, vicious, crooked, radical left machine that runs today's Democrat Party. They're just vessels. In fact, they're perfect vessels.
どう考えても BLM かアンティファの人が来てるんですよ。
I know many of them. It's just this amorphous group of people. But they're smart and they're vicious. And we have to defeat them. And when I say the enemy from within, the other side goes crazy, becomes a sound. Oh, how can you say, they've done very bad things to this country. They are indeed the enemy from within. But this is who we're fighting. These are the people who are doing such harm to our country with their open border policies, record-setting inflation, green new scam, and everything else that they're doing. But we are not going to let it happen any longer. We're going to have the biggest victory in the history of our country on November 5th. It's going to be the biggest victory in history. We're going to make America great again, everybody. On top of it all, Kamala saying she would not do one thing differently from Joe Biden, which is totally disqualifying. And you have to remember this. All of them sexy men, and you know what, maybe is the worst, but they're also good. Think of this. 325,000 children are missing, dead, sex slaves or slaves. They came through the open border and they're gone. Their parents will most likely never see them again, almost any of them. Think of the number, 325,000 children are missing or dead. Take a look at this, please.
子供たちが行方不明になってる話ですね。
The chaotic and deadly U.S. evacuations in Afghanistan has stunned Americans and the world and cost the lives of 13 U.S. soldiers who should have done something different. $1 billion comes to mind. More than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been caught in war and been released into the United States.
Accused of blocking the election and terrorist attack. The Secretary of the U.S. on special immigrant visa.
Any details in the weather of in Carlson, communities in Minnesota, is in Venezuela now because the unsuspected Two investigators say are in the country illegally from Venezuela on charge of actual murder and the death of Jocelyn Mendoza. A fifth illegal immigrant accused of attacking 2 New York City police officers over the weekend showed no remorse or regret. Would you have done something differently? There's not a thing that comes to mind.
这个东西是应该在纽约反复说话。应该有刚才那个把纽约警察放在第一个。
So if you want to end this disaster, you got to get out and vote this quarter vote. You got to get out. We have to put it away. We're close. We're so close. Usually the Republicans are losing in the first week of the early voting. And we did something that has not been done. I don't think, Speaker, it's been done yet. But it's been done for us. We're leading every one of the swing states, all 7 of them. We usually get them from behind. Because Republicans like to vote on a thing called Election Day. The old days were Election Day. today we have election periods that go on forever. And last time they went beyond and start early, start late, or whatever the hell you want. You know, we got more votes in 2020 than any sitting president in history by millions. Okay. And we did great, obviously, in 2016. We won, but we did much better in 2020. But everything, nothing compares to what's happened. I mean, you have tens of thousands of people standing outside watching us on the television, and we love you out there. We love you. But both of those great races, both of them, don't compare to what's happening now. In Florida, we took a massive lead, and all of these places. I mean, there's something happening that's really good. There's something happening that's really good, but let's close it out. Pretend you're 1 point down. Would everybody pretend? Let me just do a poll. Who has already voted?
すでに期日前投票を終えた
Who is
人
going to vote?
これから投票する人
That's what I like. That would be better than the other way. If you've already voted, so I'd say 16, 17, maybe 20%, and we're leading. And most of you haven't voted, but you promise you're going to vote. Everybody promise? Promise. There's a lot of people in here. Well, the beauty is that, you know, a Republican likes to vote late, and they like to vote and make sure their vote's in the box, right? They want to vote. They just feel better about it. And so we had a lot of people voting, but really that's the same. I do it at every event. I say, who's voted? The last 3 minutes. Last night it was at Penn State, a great place. I actually met, this is an amazing, the National Championship wrestling team. They won, the Penn State won the national championship, and listen to this, 11 out of the last 13 years, even Jim Jordan would be impressed by that. You know, Jim Jordan is a great guy. He's a great wrestler, all-American wrestler, Jim. You can see it by the way he acts. Not afraid of anything, right? And I looked at those guys and they're rough as hell. I said, you may be the only people that can take trendy Uruguay in a fight. And it won't even be that easy for them. They're tough people. But it was great to meet that team, and there's great champions, amazing, really great champions. And we were packed at Penn State. We were packed. No matter where we go, we're packed. No matter where we go, because there's something happening. And the something happening is they want to take back their country. People want to take back their country. You love the country. I love the country. We want to take it back. I could be right now on the most beautiful beach in the world. I could be at Turnberry in Scotland. I own it. I could be anywhere. I got that greatest. I don't have to be here, but I would much rather be at Madison Square Garden with you. So we're thrilled to be joined today by an incredible group of patriots who are going to help us save our country, including our next Vice President, J.D. Vance. And a man who was so incredible. Last week I watched that rocket ship come down. I've never seen it. I told this story last night. I was on the phone with a very, very important person, and I'm talking to him, and I'm watching the television while I'm talking. This guy's boring as hell. And I said, wait a minute, wait a minute. I'm looking at the screen, and I see this rocket pouring the fire, the flames, it's all over the place. It was white a week ago, and now it's pitch black from the burning coming down at 10,000 miles an hour. It's coming down, and I love it. Exactly. You know what he was doing for the last week? Campaigning in Pennsylvania. He's a sweetheart. Looking at this guy, very important guy, big guy, and a television screen on, and there's rockets coming down. I said, you know, it's a beautiful white one left, but it's burned from the fire and the flame. and now I see it coming down like this, and it's like 20 stories tall or something. It's massive, and it's coming down. I say to the guy, "Hey, give me a favor, will you hold on? Just hold on. This is like one of the most important people. I'm watching. Just hold on." I put the phone down. By the way, I never picked it up again.
電車が混むから、
You know what these
電車が混むからちょっと帰り始めましたね。
Oh, you don't think so? They're the worst. Yeah, they're the worst. So I put it down.
ヤンキースタジアムもそうなんですけどね。
I said, "Oh, it's gonna crash!" No.
ほら、みんな帰り始めてるんですよ。
Gantry, I guess they call it the gantry, whatever the hell they call it, the launching pad. And it's coming down at a bad angle, Elon. I wasn't happy, and I was a little worried. You might have been worried too. I said, "Oh no, it's not going to be good." And then all of a sudden, I saw the flame on the bottom left, and it was ripping. The flame was pouring out of that sucker, and it straightened it out like this. And it came down, and it landed, and then it's through these big, beautiful arms grabbed it, and they held it tight. And I said, I wasn't sure it was a movie. I thought it might be one of these crazy movies. And I said, I got to call Elon. And I called him. I said, "Elon, was that you?" This is like about 4 minutes after. "Was that you?" "Yeah, that was me." I say, "Elon, you're a genius. You are a genius. You are. He is special. He is special." And you know what he wants more than anything else? For our country to be really well run, solidly run, to be run democratically, all the things that everybody in this room wants. And I mean, honestly, he left that pad and he went to Pennsylvania to campaign. Can you believe it? And I asked him a couple of questions. I said, "Elon, let me ask you a question. Can Russia do that? No. Can China do that? No. Can anybody do that other than you? Nobody else can do it. Nobody else can do it." Pretty good. And he said, and they won't be able to for 10 years, you said, right? They won't be able to for 10 years. No, he's amazing. And he's a great guy, too. He really is. Gotta remember him. This is a piece of work.
いよいよ佳境に入れますね、これで。
You know, we had a black hat, right? You saw him with a black hat at Butler. He was there. It was beautiful. We had 101,000 people celebrating a great firefighter, a great guy, Corey. And Elon got up, and I didn't even know we made a black hat. I've never seen anybody wear it. I see the red hats all over the place, the white hats. I see all different, but I never saw black. But he likes the black. It was really different. It's a black hat with black letters, okay? It's called Understated. And I said, "Do you like that hat?" He said, "I love that hat. I call it Dark Mega." But you know that after that evening, that became our #1 best-selling hat. All I have to do is put something on them now. You're great. And thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's great. Thank you. And we also have somebody that is great, and look, we're not going to let him go too crazy, Elon, with the oil and gas stuff, and because Robert F. Kennedy cares more about human beings and health and the environment than anybody, and he's going to be absolute. Having him is such a great honor. I've been friends with his for a long time. And I'm going to let him go wild on health. I'm going to let him go wild on the food. I'm going to let him go wild on medicines. The only thing I don't think I'm going to let him even get near is the liquid gold that we have under our feet. I don't know, Elon, he might not like liquid gold. It's oil and gas, sometimes referred to as oil and gas. JD, I think we're going to have to keep him away from the oil and gas. What do you think, Howard? Yes? But where is Robert? He's around. He gave a beautiful speech. He's a great guy. He truly cares. I mean, he truly cares about this, and it's an honor. And we're also pleased to be joined by my beautiful wife. She's got the #1 best-selling book in the whole universe, New York Times. #1 best-selling Go out and buy one of her. It's a great book. It's a great, you know what? I was nervous when I read it. I said, I wonder if she said some bad stuff about me. I was very nervous. But she's great. Congratulations, honey. That's a big deal. #1 in the New York Times list. Now, if she's #1 and her name is Trump on the New York Times list, that book definitely was #1. I guarantee you that. Thank you, honey. Great. And we have a fabulous, brilliant woman, top student at Yale Law School. They were both top students. They're going to have very smart kids. If you believe in that, I believe in it strongly. I would like to have their children because they are going to be smart. Yale Law School, top of the class, both of them. Usha Vance, thank you, Usha, for being here. Thank you. Thank you very much. We got two beautiful children. And my children here, Don and Eric and Tiffany, and along with Lara, Kimberly and Michael, we have great people. We have Baron home, he's watching. That Baron is watching. He's the king of the internet. He's the king of the internet. Oh. Who was that? That's very nice. My sister Elizabeth is here. She's great. I don't know where she is, but she's great. And we love her. And Speaker Mike Johnson is here, and he's doing a great job. It's not easy when you have a majority of 3, but he's done a great job, and he's going to continue to do a great job, and we like him. He's a terrific person. I watched him just totally decapitate a fake reporter on NBC, Meet the Fake Press. What he did to her was, I think that probably she'll never be the same. Nobody would look at him, such a nice looking guy, just that little beautiful face with the glasses, got the little glasses. Everyone said, oh, he's so nice. He's such a nice person. He's not a nice person. He's not nice at all, right, Matt? But great job. We think he's great. And he's going to be around for a long time, I predict. We have a senator here who I love, Senator Tommy Tuberville. And he's from a great place, Alabama. I love Alabama. I'm up in Alabama by 49 points. 49 points. We're up by a lot in a lot of different places, but it's a great place, and thank you, Tommy. And all of our other great congressmen. We have so many, if I ever named them, we're going to be up here a long time. So they're going to be angry. They won't speak to me for probably a month or so, but it'll calm down after that, right, Matt? It'll calm down. It'll calm down. But we have great, great people, and they're really doing a job, and we're going to turn this country around. You know, with me, we got to get the congressmen elected, and we got to get the senators elected, because we can take the Senate pretty easily. And I think with our little secret, we're going to do really well with the House, right? Our little secret is having a big impact. He and I have a secret. We'll tell you what it is when the race is over. I also want to thank Jim Dolan and everyone at Madison Square Garden for an unbelievable, this is unbelievable. I've watched the Knicks and Rangers here, and what a location. You know, they tried to talk Jim out of this location. We're going to move you to the river. We're going to move you all over the place. And he's tough. He said, I don't know. They offered him all sorts of money. We're going to move Madison. It's a very prime location. We're going to move it to the river. Well, we're right on top of every train hub in like the world or something right here. And he didn't like it that much, but he was offered a lot. Man, did he make a good decision. That would have been peanuts compared to the value. But there's no place like Madison Square Garden. Thank you very much to Jim and all of your people. But here are the facts. Kamala Harris is a radical left Marxist, rated even worse than crazy Bernie Sanders or Pocahontas. She destroyed our economy. She was an original creator of Defund the Police. Can you believe it? She was one of the originals for Defund the Police. And anybody who wants to defund our great police for even 1 week is not worthy of being president of the United States because that's where her thinking is. Kamala vowed to abolish ICE You know those tough people you've been looking up at the screen? They're the ones that get them out of our country. I know a lot of people right in these rows are very tough. They don't want any part of it. They got to go in there, fist ablazing to move them. You know, we had a case in Long Island where MS 13, one of the other really bad gangs, carried 2 young girls, 16 years old, walking to school. They didn't shoot them, they knifed them and they cut them into little pieces because it was so painful. Perfect, young, beautiful girls were cut up into little pieces by knives. And there's 13 animals. And you know who took care of it for us? ICE. ICE, they had no problem. Kamala wants to defund us. We're not defunding ICE. We're not defunding ICE. We're not even going to defund us. There's no way she becomes president. There's no way. Radical left lunatic who she destroyed San Francisco. She destroyed, along with Gavin Newsom, the governor, who's the worst, one of the worst governors in the country. They destroyed California. And she's not going to get a chance to destroy our country any further. We're going to get it back fast. She wants to ban fracking. And as California Attorney General, she redefined child sex trafficking, assault with a deadly weapon, and rape of an unconscious person as a totally non-violent crime. She pledged to confiscate your guns. Is there anybody in the room that would like to give up their gun to? I had a feeling you might say that. And endorsed a total ban on handgun ownership. I don't think that's good. When a criminal crawls into your house at night, it would be nice to be able to at least have a chance. Wouldn't it be nice? She even called for free sex change operations on illegal aliens in detention at taxpayer expense. Think of it, at taxpayer. She said they're caught, they're illegally detained, but if they want a sex change operation, she's all in favor. Now, she gave this stuff up about a year ago, a little more, because it didn't work. It wasn't working too well with the electorate. But she'll be back to it because that's where she's
ユダヤ系の人がすごく来てますね。
She destroyed the place. But you know, she lied about that, but she also lied about something very important.
手が痛い、手が。
For years and years, she said she had a job at McDonald's.
手が痛い。
And the reason I went there last week, you know that I got a call from Sundar, very smart guy, at Google. He said, this is the most amazing thing. We've had just about more hits on this crazy McDonald's store. And I went there just to prove a little point. See, you never know how something's going to work out, Mr. VP. But he called and he said, we've had more hits on McDonald's than, I think he said anything we've ever had, but let's say it's close. And did anybody watch Joe Rogan recently? Right? So she lied about McDonald's. She lied about everything. She's got ads on saying Donald Trump is this, he's going to do this, he's going to do... It's the exact opposite of what my policies are. She's got me doing this. He doesn't want to fight. I'm all for fighting. And I have been for... One thing I have been, even the enemy, because they are the enemy, but they've said, even that enemy too, they're really the enemy. They're the enemy of the people, the press. They said one thing about me that I consider a great compliment. They said, this guy is the most consistent person we've ever seen. Because I've been against cars and car factories being taken out of Detroit and being taken out of manufacturing of automobiles, being taken out of our system, out of our country. I've been against all the things that are happening and have happened. We stopped it, and now it's happening again. When you hear 50,000 manufacturing jobs lost in just a short period of time. But I've been the most consistent because we're going to bring our manufacturing back to the United States. It's all coming back, so get ready. You're going to have your choice of great job. And on top of all this, Kamala tried to turn our military woke. So tonight, whether you are a Republican, Democrat, or Independent, conservative, or liberal, I'm inviting you to join the greatest political movement in the history of our country. It's really great. You know, it's the greatest movement in the history of our country. I tell the story that years ago, there's a guy, great guy, older guy now, very old, but he was great, conservative guy, Pat Buchanan. He came in second in the New Hampshire primary, and for 45 years he made an unbelievable career. He was a hot item, he was on every show, came in second in one primary. We came in first in 50 primaries. We then had a great election that we won. We then had another great election that we did a hell of a lot better in. Bad things happened. We're not going to let that happen. COVID. They used COVID to cheat. But we then had an election, but now we have the election of, well, this will be, in my opinion, I have to say if, because you know, with all these risks, I guess. But if we pull this off, this will be the biggest political event in the history of our country. Right? And we're building the biggest, broadest, most diverse coalition in American history, including union workers and Border Patrol agents. By the way, the Border Patrol gave me last week their complete and total endorsement. They said he's the greatest president in the history of the country, but we don't have to go that far. And they said there's never been anybody like him on the border. They said to him, the fake news said, has she ever called you? No. They didn't like that answer right away. Then they asked her, have you ever called me? She never called. Almost 4 years, she never called but once the Border Patrol. And she was the border girl. She was in charge of the border. Now think of it, 4 years she never called. Now she's trying to say, well, you know, I was never really not the border. Whether she was the border girl or not, she was put in charge of the border by Sleepy Joe. Then he went to bed. He put her in charge. She did the worst job on the border than anybody has done in the history of the world. There's never been a border like this in the world. And a third world country would fight people with sticks and stones to stop them from pouring into that country. And we let them just come right in. What a shame, what a shame. Police and firefighters also, we have every endorsement from virtually every sheriff's department, police department. I don't think they have one cop. They're looking for just one cop. Is there one? Well, they're not going to be in New York's finest. By the way, how good are the police outside? New York's finest. And you know what I want to thank Mayor Adams, because Mayor Adams has been treated pretty badly. You know, when he said that this whole thing with the migrants coming into New York, this is just not sustainable. You know, we can't do it. We're trying to run a city that 100,000 migrants come. We can't do it. We just can't do it. It's not feasible. It's not good. He said it very nicely. I said, well, he's going to be indicted by these lunatics for saying that. A year later, he got indicted. I think they upgraded his seat in an airplane. That's a very serious thing. They've upgraded my seat a lot too. I used to fly commercial. I don't fly so much anymore. But they see me back there and, sir, would you like an upgrade? Maybe it's something else. But I have to tell you, he's been really good. When he said that they shouldn't be calling himself a dictator because it's not true. That's nice. So we want to thank Mayor Adams for going through a hard time with these people. These are lunatics, by the way. They've weaponized the Justice Department against their political opponent. I am under investigation more than the great late Alphonse Foucault. My father's looking down on me right now. He's a tough guy, but he is like legit. And I know my mother's in heaven. I'm not 100% sure of my father, but it's close. But he's looking down at me right now. And he's saying, how the hell did this happen to my son? He's not a bad person. I'm a good person. All we want to do is straighten out our country.
Yeah, we get everything. Entertainer, effective leader, we get everything.
But all of the veterans are with us, all of the steel workers. I saved our steel. I saved our steel plants, and I don't like Japan buying U.S. Steel. U.S. Steel used to be like Elon Musk, like 70 years ago, the biggest, the best company in the world. You know that, Elon? You were nice too young to know. U.S. Steel was the big baby. That was a big, I don't know. There's something nice about U.S. Steel being the biggest as opposed to Google. You know, it's like a different kind of a company. But we sort of need steel in this country. Like, we're not going to go to war with me as your president, but if we don't, on the long shot that we do, we don't want to say we need steel. Can we get it from China? Or can we get it from someplace else? But, you know, it's always a possibility, but I will tell you, you're not going to have a war with me, and you're not going to have a third world war with me. That I can tell you. But we need steel. And I would not approve U.S. Steel being bought by Japan. I wouldn't do it. Just psychologically not good. We'll help them out, but I don't like it. We're seeing historic levels of support among our black population, Hispanic population, and our Asian population. Jews, Muslims, by the way, did anybody see yesterday? Did anybody see what took place? I was with the Muslims yesterday in Michigan. And when the polls first came out, they had 100%, I had 0. And yesterday I watched this anchor on CNN almost choke. She said, something's happening in Michigan, big population, couple of 100,000, a lot of votes. Something's happening, the poll just came out. Trump is at 59, Kamala is at 8 with the Muslim population. They never saw anything like that.
2時間以上喋ってるね、今回は。
And these are people, by the way, they just want peace. They want to have peace. And it's great. So Jews and Muslims and Catholics and evangelicals and Mormons, and they're all joining our cause in large numbers, larger than anyone has ever seen in this country before, larger than they've ever seen in any country. And the Republican Party has really become the party of inclusion, and there's something very nice about that. And we're a big, powerful party, and they're losing it. They're really losing it. Together we will lift America to glory beyond your wildest dreams. It's going to happen fast, too. So in conclusion, with your vote this November, we're going to fire Kamala, and we're going to save America. We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices, raise your wages, and bring thousands and thousands of factories back to America. We're even going to get Elon to bring that stuff back. We will build America, we will buy America, and we will hire America. I will end the war in Ukraine, which would have never happened if I were president. I will stop the chaos in the Middle East, and I will prevent World War III from happening. We will crush violent crime and give our police the support, protection, resources, and respect that they so dearly deserve.
第三次世界大戦は止めてくれるそうです。まあね、難しくても。
I took it out of the military because I couldn't get it from the people in Congress that should have given it to us. So I considered it an invasion. I said to a couple of generals, I said, congratulations, this is an invasion of our country. So I took it out of the military, had 9 lawsuits and won them all. We will build a massive defense shield, all made in the USA. We're going to build a beautiful dome over our country. And a lot of it's going to be made right here in New York. We will rebuild our cities, including our capital in Washington, D.C., which has become a very dangerous and badly managed place. We're going to make them safe, clean, and beautiful again. We will teach our children to love our country, to honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag.
これで終盤です。もう最後の決め言葉に入り始めました。
And as long as the Speaker of the House of Representatives is here, I would like to put forward a bill because I watched 2 months ago as Some very bad people, radical left people, by the way, nothing happened to them. In Washington, D.C., burned our American flags. They were burning flags. And I would like to suggest that we put in a bill, if you burn the American flag, 1 year in jail. We will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our schools. And we will keep men out of women's sports. I will defend religious liberty, I will restore free speech, and I will defend the right to keep and bear arms. Our Second Amendment is under siege. After years of building up foreign nations, defending foreign borders, and protecting foreign lands, we are finally going to build up our country, defend our borders, and protect our citizens. It's called America First, and it's going to happen at levels never seen before. And I'll tell our friends, our allies, who sometimes treat us very badly, that it's about time we take care of ourselves.
Okay, I've been upstate New York.
And we will stop
lots of
the
country up there.
illegal immigration that's taking place at levels never seen before. We will stop it cold and once and for all. We will not be invaded. We will not be occupied. We will not be overrun. We will not be conquered.
You're upstate New York.
We will be a free and proud nation once again.
There's lots of traffic here. Yeah, I
Everyone will
drive to New York
prosper.
City from Baltimore.
Every
I don't
family
do it
will
much anymore. I'd
thrive,
rather take
and
the
every
bus.
day will be filled with
I get off the bus, I
opportunity
can
and
walk
hope.
around.
And very much so, it will be filled with the American dream. We're bringing back the American dream. We're going to bring it back at the highest level that you've ever
I
seen.
drove to the rally here for it.
But for that to happen, we must defeat
We need him
Kamala
back.
Harris and stop the
Please, God,
radical
get
left
him back.
agenda with a landslide
We need to
that
bring
is
everything back to
too
normal
big to
here.
rig.
Yeah, I came by myself.
So you need to get out and vote. Get your
I might.
husband off the couch. The football game doesn't mean a damn thing. You gotta get out and vote. Get up, Harry.
I would like to find
Come on, Harry. Get up, Harry. Let's go. You're gonna vote for the president. For the past 9 years, we have been fighting against the most sinister and corrupt forces on earth. With your vote in this election, you can show them once and for all that this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. Belongs to you. No city embodies the spirit, energy, and potential of the American people.
She was okay.
We are gathered
She
tonight.
became
We
Americanized.
want
She
to win our
became too
country,
greedy.
but we also want to win New York and make it safe and strong and beautiful and affordable and vibrant again. And we're going to do that.
Even told me
And
over there,
we'll
he
work
said,
with the mayor
even
and
here,
we'll work with the
no money,
governor.
no honey. I said, oh, I know.
We're going to do that. We're going to make it great. You know, when I left for Washington 8 years ago, we were hardcore Marion de Blasio. It was a horrible.
I like China, though. I like taking the bus back. Oh,
The
what's that?
things you could see, they weren't
Yeah, I'm taking the bus back
but
to
still it was a place that people wanted to be.
Oh, yeah, I already bought it.
Since then, our federal
I was going to show you real
government
quick.
has done to this place, what they've done to the
China, I
state.
went in December.
And,
I went just before COVID. That's Japan.
Hundreds of
That's all.
thousands of really rough people.
I'm by myself. I travel everywhere.
I call it a beautiful oasis. When I left,
Oh, nice.
New
Oh, hope
York
you,
was the place you wanted to be.
hope you enjoy yourself. Oh,
People just
really?
can't speak all of it.
Yeah, I went to,
We're gonna bring it back. We're
I
gonna
know
bring
where
it back
Mount
strong.
Fuji.
And I hope you go out and vote.
That was
You
a
gotta
nice
vote
trip.
for it. You gotta vote.
Yeah, oh,
It would be such an honor to win New York. Hasn't been done in
now
decades. Hasn't been done in
I did a
so
lot of
long.
traveling last year. I went
It
to
hasn't been
Australia,
done so
Peru,
long.
Africa,
They will
Europe.
say, sir,
I
you're
went
wasting
everywhere.
your money.
I was going to show
I
you,
don't think so.
I think I showed you some of these.
Your prime is
And
through the
here-
roof. Everything is
They even
through
got
the
this
roof.
in Tokyo too. I'll show you.
I remember during the debate, they said, oh, sir,
I was
this
going to show you.
stupid
Where's
person
it at?
named David
They even had that in
from ABC
Japan.
Fake
Trump
News.
Tower.
He said, sir,
He's famous all
crime
over
is
the
not
world.
through the roof.
China.
Crime is down. I said, no, it's not.
Tiananmen Square, Forbidden City.
I said, it's not down, it's up. It's down.
that was a nice
I was like
trip.
the
Great
big
wall.
three people. And him, I had that person next to him.
That was a good trip. I was only
It turned
in
out the
Asia
following
for 1
day,
week.
they
I
released
wasn't
the
there that
stats.
long.
and crime is
I was there
at
long enough to have
45%.
Okay,
And what a shame, what a shame. We
Are
really
you
need a fair
retired?
press
You
in this
still work?
country. We have a fair press that's going to be 50% of the battle of bringing them back.
Oh, you work here in the city of New York?
But this is the city where I was born and raised, and this is the town that taught me that Americans can do anything when they want to. So no matter our differences, when we work together, there is nothing that we cannot achieve. From New York to Las Vegas, from Philadelphia to Phoenix, from Chicago to Charlotte, from Atlanta to Detroit, this nation was built by generations of American patriots who gave everything they had for our rights, our future, and for our freedom. Through freezing cold winters and hot scorching summers, through storms and setbacks and conflicts and danger, our American ancestors pushed onward, marched forward, and overcame every single obstacle that stood in their way. Together they crossed the oceans, settled the continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the roads, raised up those mighty skyscrapers, built the highways,
One thing I like
launched
about
the
Asia
wars
is
to
that you
free
can retire
fascism
almost
and
anywhere in Asia,
communism, and
Vietnam,
launched American
Philippines,
astronauts
Korea.
to the moon.
Cheap to live over there. Very cheap.
It was hardworking
compared to
patriots
here.
like you who built this country.
You get a big apartment for like $200 a month.
Patriots
Here,
like
it's
you
like
who are going
$3,000.
to save our country.
Yeah. Who's going to Japan? You and your wife or just you?
After all that we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the four greatest
Now, if I
years
was
in the
married or had a
history
girlfriend again,
of the
I'd probably
USA.
get them to go with me. For
With
now,
your
just
help
me.
from now until election day, we will restore America's
I would
promise.
use
We
it.
will
If you don't
put
use it, you lose
America
it.
first.
Yeah, I
And we
don't
will
blame
take
you. I've been in
back
that
the
situation.
nation that we
A lot of
all love.
places will let you accrue so much time, but then if you don't use it, you lose it. So that's how it
We
happens.
bleed the same
Let's go,
blood.
Trump.
We share the same home. And we salute the same great American flag.
I might stop there again when I go back.
We are
home.
one people,
I love them.
one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in, we will never give up, we will never ever back down, and we will never ever ever
Australia is
ever
a lot like
surrender.
America.
Together we will fight, 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 and we will win, 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 win. November will be the most important day in the history of our country. And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again.
音楽は違いますね。ニューヨークニューヨークじゃないですか。すいません、8時間トイレに行けていません。8時間立ちっぱなしでございまして、このような拙い配信をしてしまいまして申し訳ございませんでした。でもやっぱりニューヨークで見るトランプさんってね、やっぱり自分の街だからね、すごい演説長かったですね。 がなくなっちゃうんで。寒い寒い寒い寒い。やんべんララララララやんべんやんべん。はい、終わりました。いやいや、これほどね、拙い配信を見ていただいてありがとうございました。これ見てくださいよ。もうタイムズスクエアのカウントダウンかっていうぐらいの人です。IMCA。 この人たちはみんな黒人ですよ。黒人の集団。すごいよね。ああ、なるほどね。こういうやり方もあるわね。これは受けぶれしないわな。やっぱり考えてこないとな。というわけでちょっと N スタ版ですね。すいません、N スタ版8時間トイレに行ってないので、とりあえず帰路に着きたいと思います。いやみんな見える？
Right there. Oh, that's sick.
エンパイアステートビル見える？こうか。こうすればいいのか。あ、これやな。エンパイアステートビルですよ。はい。いやー、やっぱ夜はね、これ8度くらいまで冷え込むんですよ。それでね、いやーね、私もね、やっぱほらニューヨークってアウェーじゃないですか。なんでね、ちょっとね、マジソンスクエアガーデンで2万人入るんですね。まさか2万人以上来ないだろうと思ったら、2万人以上が外に取り残されました。今回は見てください。取り残された2万人以上の人々、もうね、びっくりしましたよ。はい、ここまでって言われた時は、私ね、T シャツ、ごめんな、Thank you。拾ってもらっちゃった。いや、でね、誰誘っても行きたくないって言うんですよ。ブラックマガーハット買おうかな。どう思う？
You guys need hats? Trump hats?
You have a black maga?
What?
Black maga?
No, I don't got black hats.
ブラックマガ持ってないんだって。ああ、ほんなら帰っか。いやこの写真いらんかって言われる。ネットでね、いやね、家でさ、あったかい部屋でベッドに寝転がってさ、iPad とかパソコンでも見れたけどさ、いやでもやっぱりね、8時間外で待ち続けて中に入れてもらえなくて、それで5時に登場って言ってたのに、もう6時過ぎても来なくて、結局外に今8時間半以上いたわけなんですが、これからね帰りたいと思います。まあおまわりさんもね、ようやくちょっとリラックスした感じになってますかね。みんなすごいの着てますね。いやー、アウェーの街でよくこんなの着れるなと思って勇気ありますよね。まあニューヨークだけの人たちじゃないのは分かるんですよ。だいたい顔見てて分かりますね。ニューヨークの人じゃないなっていうのはね。いや、ずっとね、しばらくこちらのピザ屋でね、始まるまで待ってたんですけど、とりあえずここね、これすごいわ。これ見て、このゴミ、すごいゴミね。ということで、もうね、トイレ行かないとね、病気になりそうなの。膀胱炎とかになりそうなので、 エンパイアステートビルを背景にしてちゃんとニューヨークから撮りましたということで、ニューヨークサバイバルの配信ここまでにさせていただきます。ありがとうございました。すいません、拙い配信で、しかもね、自撮り棒も持っちゃダメ、バックパックもダメ、ハンドバッグすら持ち込んじゃダメ、もうあれもこれあれも何もかもダメっていう、そういう状況でずっとね、取り付け型のバッテリーを、モバイルバッテリーをつけて重たい iPhone をもう両手で抱えてもかなりやっぱり6時間持ち続けるっていうのはこんなきついこととは思わなかったです。多分中に先に入った人の配信の方が良かったでしょうね、おそらくね。まあでも来てよかったなというふうに思いました。はい、それではこれから帰路に着きたいと思います。よかった、何事もなくてね。私すごく心配したんですよ。やっぱマジソンスクエアガーデンで万が一にもテロルみたいなことが起きてたら、これはもうモスクワの劇場どころの話じゃない大ニュースになるとこだったんですけれど、無事に終わってよかった。本当によかった。寅さんが無事でよかった。ということで、こんなメガネでごめんなさい。今日はここで失礼いたします。See you next time です。バイバイ。